If I gave you an $800,000 budget to buy a home in Western Palm Beach County, what would you choose? Would you want a pool home in Wellington, a newer home in Royal Palm Beach, a modern home in Westlake, where they're still building brand new homes? Or would you take that same $800,000 and head out to Loxahatchee, where you could have an acre of land with room for your RV, animals, a workshop, maybe all of it? Here's what's interesting. We're talking about roughly the same budget, but depending on where you choose to live, that $800,000 can buy you 4 completely different Florida lifestyles. So I went into the MLS and I pulled actual homes that recently sold in this price point in Wellington, Royal Palm Beach, Westlake, and Loxahatchee, or the Acreage. I'm going to show you some of those homes, talk about what you're actually getting for the money, and more importantly, talk about the trade-offs. And by the end of the video, you're going to have a much better idea of which $800,000 lifestyle fits you. So let's get started. Wellington is probably one of the first places that people think about when they're considering Western Palm Beach County. I found some really interesting choices. Let's start with these two on Stamford, because they're a perfect example of how much condition can affect value, even within the same neighborhood. One of the homes sold around $780,000, and it's about 2,500 square feet. The other one sold around $810,000. It's about 2,700 square feet. The lower price home needed some updating, while the other one was in nicer condition. Both have private pools, and this isn't an established non-HOA neighborhood. So if you like Wellington, but you don't necessarily want an HOA, this is one of the options you can find. Now, let's look at something completely different. This home on Shaughnessy is in Olympia, which was built by Minto. Olympia is a large gated community that has 4 entrances with 24-hour security manned gate. Sometimes it almost feels like its own little city. You're going to have an association here, but for the fees that you're paying, you're also getting a resort-style community, clubhouse, pool, fitness center, sports courts, playgrounds, community events, and real neighborhood feel. Kids tend to grow up together. They all go to the same schools. It's a community within a town. Then we have Cedar Cove in Binks, and this is also gated, but rather than a live attendant, it uses a call box. This home's about 2,800 square feet and has a private pool. The HOA is much lower than Olympia, but there really aren't any community amenities like you have over there. So even within Wellington, you can buy very different lifestyles. The question becomes, what else do you want for your money? Do you want no HOA, a gated community, a large amenity package, or would you rather pay a smaller HOA fee and let your own pool and backyard serve as your amenities? Schools are also a major consideration within Wellington, and some families specifically start their search here because of them. Once we're looking at an individual property, we can verify the zone schools for that particular address. The trade-off is that you're generally not looking at brand new construction here in Wellington. You're looking at established neighborhoods, homes that have been maybe beautifully updated or might still need to be updated. And that can actually create an opportunity if you're willing to do some work. So with Wellington, I think the question is, how important are the location, schools, and Wellington lifestyle to you? Because if having something newer is more important, let's head over right next door to Royal Palm Beach. Royal Palm Beach is where I think this budget starts getting really interesting, because now we're seeing quite a bit of newer construction, and in some cases, a lot of house for the money. This home on Strang Lane was built by Lennar in 2022. It's approximately 2,800 square feet and it has impact windows. It does have a private pool and is sold around $750,000. The HOA has a community pool, fitness center, sports courts, security, recreation, all the bells and whistles, and you're getting quite a bit within the community. Then we have Cypress Key, which was built by D.R. Horton in 2017. This is a big house at 3,700 square feet with a 3-car garage. Now there's no private pool, but there's a large fenced backyard with plenty of room for a pool. And the community itself has a clubhouse and a fitness center, the playground, pool, sidewalk, all that. It's up to you on how you want to spend your money. Next, let's look at Annandale in Madison. Madison Green was a completely different direction. It is a established Minto-built community centered around a public golf course. This home that we're going to look at is 3,400 square feet. It had a private pool and the roof was recently replaced in 2025. Now, Madison Green does have an association, has beautiful facilities, but this is not an equity country club where you're required to purchase a golf membership. The golf course is public, and there's a restaurant, and the individual neighborhoods are gated. They have a keypad entry, and they each have their own character. They decorate the entrances for holidays. So if you like the idea of a golf course community without the financial commitment of a mandatory golf membership, this could be a really interesting option. Finally, let's look at Parkside. This is brand new construction by K. Havanarian in Royal Palm Beach near Little Ranches off of Southern Boulevard. An $800,000 budget will get you something completely different in a brand new home. I toured these models, and one of the floor plans I really liked had a separate space towards the front of the house that could work beautifully for extended family, out-of-town guests. It has its own entrance from the outside, so it is a great concept for somebody who has a lot of visitors. The example we're looking at is about 2,000 square feet, and it does have impact windows, but no private pool. This is one of the smaller models inside Parkside, and once you move into some of the larger floor plans, you're definitely going into a different price bracket. Because construction is still ongoing, there may be some builder incentives depending on timing and availability, and those change constantly. So if you want to find out what's being offered when you're ready to buy, we can do that. So what's Royal Palm Beach's story? I think it's value and variety. You can get newer construction and potentially more square footage, go with brand new, or choose an established community like Madison Green. Royal Palm Beach also puts a lot of emphasis in parks and recreation, and it continues to invest in those facilities. The school conversation is different here than it is in Wellington, and this is where I encourage buyers to look at individual schools and programs rather than judging the entire community based on one number or rating. We have a lot of options here in Palm Beach County for schools. There are programs within the local schools that may be a great fit depending on your child, such as the choice programs. Royal Palm Beach might be the choice for someone who says, I want good value, I want more house, and I don't necessarily need a Wellington address. But if newer construction is at the very top of your list, then let's go further west into Palm Beach County's newest city, Westlake. Westlake is almost the opposite of Wellington. Wellington's established while Westlake is still being creative. And if you have an $800,000 budget, there's some really interesting choices here. Let's start with this home in the Groves. It was built by Minto in 2021. It sold around $770,000 and it's approximately 3,330 square feet. Has 2 stories, a 3-car garage, impact glass, and modern finishes, and a large private backyard. There's no pool, but Westlake has a resort-style community amenities, and it's very community-oriented with things like food truck nights and movie nights. They have their own fireworks displays. It's evolving as they build. There's a neighborhood HOA that covers the common areas, and then a master association covering the larger amenities that's shared within the communities. Compare that with Wellington homes that we just looked at, and in Wellington around this budget, you see older homes that are established communities with private pools, and here you're tending to get new construction, impact glass, all new systems, newest building codes, but maybe you don't get the private pool. It's a perfect example of the trade-offs that we're talking about. Then we have Crestwin, which is Coulter's 55-plus community in Westlake. And around this budget, we're looking at homes roughly in the 2,000 to 2,500 square foot range, with an HOA that includes all the amenities, clubhouse, fitness center, pickleball, spas, you name it. So if you're 55 or better, that same $800,000 budget opens up an entirely different active adult lifestyle. And there's one more option in Westlake that I think is really important. You can still build. Minto is actively building homes here, so if you have the time and don't need to move right away, we can also look at what your budget can buy directly from the builder. And that's really the Westlake story. New construction, impact glass, modern planned communities, beautiful amenities, and the potential to build something brand new. We also see families move into Westlake and then the grandparents buy over in Crestwin, so everyone can be close together while each have their own amenities and communities. The trade-off is that Westlake is further west. So for some people, the drive doesn't bother them at all. And for others, it can absolutely be something to consider before you purchase. That's why I always talk to buyers and ask where they're going to work, where their families live, where their grandkids need to go, where they need to be, and where they'll spend most of the time. Because that beautiful new house doesn't feel quite as exciting if you're frustrated with your commute every day. Westlake is also still developing. New infrastructure is being added. The school district just broke ground on a new elementary school in Westlake. Some people love being part of a new community and growing city, while others would rather move into a place like Wellington or Royal Palm Beach, where everything around them is already established. Let's look at that same budget and change the lifestyle completely, because we're headed into the acreage. This is where I want you to stop thinking about just the house, because in the acreage, your money is not only buying the square footage under air, you're also buying the property, the land, the privacy, the improvements, and the freedom to use that property in ways that you simply can't in most HOA communities. Let's start with this home. It sold on around $800,000 and was built in 2023 by Synergy Homes, which is one of our local builders. It's around 2,000 square foot. So it's not the largest house that we're looking at, but you're getting new construction, impact windows, modern finishes, and the acreage lifestyle. That's important because sometimes people assume that if they want an acre of land, they automatically have to buy an older home. And that is not necessarily true. We look at this home on 88th. It was built around 2001, and it's approximately 2,300 square feet. But look what comes with this property. It's on a paved road, private pool. You put in a fire pit. They got an RV pad, swing set, chicken coop. This is such a great example of how people actually use their properties out here. On 75th Lane, we're at about 2,082 square feet. But what caught my attention was the pool and the additional outbuildings. Depending on what you want to do with your property, those improvements can have tremendous value. Then this home on 70th is around 2,500 square feet with a nicely finished garage being used as a workout studio. It has an outdoor deck for enjoying the property and additional outbuildings for storage. And last, let's look at the house on Persimmon. It's a little over our $800,000 target, but I wanted to include it because it shows what stretching the budget a little can potentially add. Around 2,300 square foot, it has this cool tiki hut for outdoor entertainment and a slab already in place for the RV. The property has already been set up for the way a lot of people want to live when they move out here. And this is exactly why comparing price per square foot can get misleading. In the acreage, you're not just buying the square footage of the house, you're buying everything that's already been done to the property, the fencing, the pool, outbuildings, RV space, landscaping, and outdoor living areas. You get land, privacy, freedom, and in many cases, you have the ability to add additional structures in the future. Subject, of course, to zoning and permitting and setbacks. But there's another side to that freedom. Your neighbors have the freedom too. You can choose your location carefully and look how your neighboring properties are maintained when you buy. But without an HOA, you don't have the same level of control over what the property next door might look like in 5 or 10 years from now. Depending on where you buy in the acreage and where you need to go every day, the drive can also be significant. For some people, that's the deal breaker, while other people pull through their gate, see their acre of land and everything, the space around them, and they wouldn't trade it for anything. I recently did an entire video about 5 things you should consider before moving to Loxahatchee. So if this is the lifestyle you're leaning towards, I'd check out that video because we go much deeper into what living out here is actually like. We spent roughly the same $800,000 4 different ways, and look at how differently the results are. In Wellington, you're buying an established community, desirable location, access to established schools, and based on the sales we looked at, a private pool is very realistic at this price point. But the house might be older. In Royal Palm Beach, you may get considerably more house for your money, newer construction, or even the option of going brand new. In Westlake, you're getting newer constructions, impact glass, modern floor plans, and a planned community amenities, and you may even be able to build brand new. And then further west, you may trade that private pool for a newer house and community amenities. And then there's the acreage. where $800,000 isn't just buying a house, it's buying land, freedom, privacy, and all the different things you can do with that. There isn't one winner, and that's really the whole point of this video. The right answer depends on what you're trying to accomplish with your move. I'm curious, if I handed you $800,000 today, which one of these would you choose? Would it be Wellington, Royal Palm Beach, Westlake, or an acre of land in Loxahatchee? Let me know in the comments because I really do read them, and I'm curious to see which one wins. If you're thinking about moving to Western Palm Beach County and you're not sure which area fits you, that's exactly where I can help. My contact information is in the description below. Feel free to call, text, or email me. I'm always happy to talk through the different areas with you. And if this video has helped you, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I put out a new video every week about living and moving to Palm Beach County. Thanks so much for watching.